I want to show people a clip of the game here. Show them a little bit of your work.
I am Jin Sakai, nephew of Lord Shimura. I have come to avenge his honor.
Jin, your uncle has told me much about you, Jin Sakai. I will show him his nephew, broken and humiliated, begging to join the Mongol Empire. Jin. This is your time, Lord Sakai.
How does that feel, seeing yourself in a video game like that, immortalized as Khotun Khan here?
It's kind of cool. I mean, it's such a beautiful game, and they
it really
did
is
such a beautiful job with it. It's funny, if you do notice, because of it over 3 years, I lost about 25 pounds over the course of the game, and the game does come in order. So you can see we had to put these. I think these masks made where they put because there's a lot of dots when they use your face. There's less dots when they put somebody else's, but when they use your actual face, there were dots everywhere. So they got these masks for us and then drilled the holes in. And I did my stuff in 2017 and came back a year later and I'd lost 25 pounds. They were like, you can't lose any more weight because this mask won't work anymore because my face wasn't touching it. Yeah, it was great. I mean, you know, it's the hardest thing about that is Ramon knows this too. We're in skin tight suits. You know, and people ask me, what did I use with Attila? Because there are very different characters to bring to that. What I remember is that was a 40-pound costume of yak fur and leather. And that's how I got the physicality in the walk, was to remember what it was like to walk in that Attila costume, because you're just basically wearing a scuba suit. And so that's the way I combined Attila and Khotun, because they're very different characters. But I'm very proud to be part of the game. It's an amazing game.
Of course. Yeah, and I know you get inside, like when you do the voice acting and stuff, is it just primarily you in a booth saying your lines, that sort of thing?
That was us moving. This is what.
Oh, really?
There's a difference between voice. Yeah, I don't think people realize this. There's a difference between motion capture, voice acting, and performance capture.
Yep. Okay.
So motion capture, you've got people in skin tight suits with little dots on, and they capture your body movements. When you do just voice, there's time when you're just in the booth and you're speaking, and they'll put the computer character over you. That's a lot of the stuff we did in the fight. But everything you saw there was me and Daisuke and Eric. We were literally in our skin tight suits walking in an empty stage, imagining that, you know, which is why performance capture is so complicated and a little bit difficult to get used to, because it's a little bit like a radio play. It is about your physicality, it's about your voice, but it's also about your face, but there's nothing around you, so it's all green screen. So everything you see with everybody in that, where we're actually talking to each other standing up, was us talking to each other, standing with each other, with these huge like cameras right in front of your face. So when you drink, you've got to drink like this.
Okay.
And then they'll make it look like it's close to your face. But yeah, I think people get them as no, but that was us. So that physicality, that's what I mean about remembering how I walked. I had to walk in a skin tight suit, trying to feel like I had 40 pounds of armor on.
Yeah. And what do you prefer doing? Do you like the booth or do you like the performance? And
Well, nobody should have to see me in a skin tight suit, including me. But there's a certain amount of creativity there that I prefer. It feels more like what I'm familiar with. I like both of them, but I actually, to do just the movements and stuff without being able to do any acting, I don't enjoy that much, like just the motion capture. But performance capture, there's a lot of, especially when you're on a show, you know, a game like that where there's a lot of collaboration, I find that really fun.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, that skin tight suit is like, you know, I've lost like 45 pounds, but still, nobody should have to see it.
Ramon, are you excited to do that sort of stuff, you know, in the future? Voice acting, doing that?
Pretty much exactly what Patrick said. Like, you know, the motion capture is cool. I mean, you know, I can enjoy it enough, but the performance capture is the same thing. I haven't done performance capture yet, but the closest I've gotten to anything like this was there was an instructor in a class that I took. She was she invited me to help out with a student project, and so then I did motion capture for them, and I got to see, you know, kind of how it all works, and you know, the skin tight suit with the dots and everything. And it wasn't even as advanced then as it is now. This was like probably like 8 years ago.
Wow.
Maybe 9 years ago. And it was fun, but performance capture is pretty much the same as film acting, except you don't have a set. You just have 4 walls, all green, and you might have a few props. Like if you're climbing up something, they'll have like something like a jungle gym style thing with bars, and you're pretending to climb, but you're literally visualizing everything. So like
it's a lot of imagination, I suppose.
A lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
And what makes a difference is, like I said, you know, it really is about our voice and our movement. So it's not exactly like it, which is why it can be complicated to do it first, you know, because you can't get as intimate as you can when you're doing straight up film acting, because there's also, you know, Ramon's right, there's nothing there. So it took me a little while to figure it out. And you know, like I said, if any actors ever do it, I look at it like doing a stand-up radio play. I mean, you are moving through the space, but it's all on a green screen. You know, your body and your voice are what your voice really is what, you know, you got hired for in a lot of ways. And it also depends on whether they're using your face or a character's face, because then it's all just in the eyes, and then it's more voice. Then it's more, to me, voice modulation if I'm not going to be using my real face. You know, Mad Schultz was I looked like a 60-year-old, you know, long-haired cowboy. And so that became more about the voice than it even did with Khotun, because Khotun was my real face. So I could, in a sense, you know, just act normally. So I just that's the kind of stuff that I looked at and went, okay, this is where it's an interesting kind of way of working.